Good evening. This is News.ph, but it's not politics as usual. I'm Pia Ontiveros. The Catholic Church in the Philippines has had its hands full with a not so very favorable ruling from the Supreme Court on the reproductive health law. And now this, a parish priest in Quezon City embroiled in a controversy over money. We're talking about Father Enrique Alino and the Santo Niño Parish in Bago Bantay, Quezon City, against the backdrop of a pope whose message of simplicity resonates all over the world. Our guests tonight, Rufa Mabait, Editha Rebolledo, Manuel De Castro, and Vic Berino. They are officers of the Bago Bantay Movement for Justice and Peace. Their group filed a case before the Quezon City Prosecutor's Office against Father Enrique Alino. On the phone is Father Steven Zabala. He is spokesperson of the Diocese of Cubao and was also once the officer in charge of the Santo Niño Parish in Bago Bantay. We did invite Father Enrique Alino, but he declined the invitation through his staff or through his secretary because we were told he was busy. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's begin with, ano po ba yung kaso nyo against Father Alino? Sino pa mag-umpisa? Ma'am, yes. Go ahead.
Actually po, yung naka-file na ngayon sa Hall of Justice ng Quezon City, yung 14 counts qualified theft.
Okay. So, when you say 14 counts qualified theft, you're talking about what exactly? Parish funds?
Bali, PPC, Parish Pastoral Council funds po ang ano namin dito, hinahabol namin. Gusto lang po namin yung transparency, accountability, tsaka yung truth po ang makita ng mga tao.
Oo. Pag sinabi po ninyong 14 counts, what are you saying? Na 14 times na meron pong nawala na pera sa parokya, sa Parish Pastoral Council?
Based po
What
dun sa
exactly are you talking about?
sa mga checks na naipasok niya sa bangko, na ilabas niya dun sa pera ng council.
Saang bangko? Anong bangko?
I think it's Security Bank.
Security Bank. Pero kaninong bank account po yun?
Supposed to be po sa parokya, pero tinurn over po yun sa kanya nung aming dating parish priest. And we were so trusting na katulad din po nung mga dati naming naging priest, parish priest, na gagamitin nyo ng alam din namin kung ilalabas yung pera, i-disburse, so alam din ng council. And it happened na nasa parokya na siya ng 8 months, wala pang financial statement na ginagawa. So yung aming finance officer, tinanong na siya. Kasi kailangan ng financial report before the year ends.
Okay.
And he found some discrepancies doon sa report ng secretary ni Father, ng aming financial officer. So, doon po namin, yung PPC na kailangan makita na yung report ng mga tao. And parang hindi niya nagustuhan yung ginawa naming pagtanong sa kanya nung financial report. Actually, tatlo kami nung planning head committee, si Brother Alfredo Ramos, yung aming finance officer, si Danny Pajarillo, tsaka ako, na pumunta sa kanya, nakipag-usap kami sa kanya, that was January 2012, tungkol dun sa issue na yon, na ayusin na para kami-kami na lang yung umayos nung issue na yon, tungkol dun sa mga discrepancy. Nagalit siya noon. Tapos, pinagdabugan niya kami ng pinto, pero eventually, bumalik siya. Inayos din, sabi, kailangan ayusin ko to. Opo, sabi kong gano'n. Kasi Father, it's not about you. It's the money na lumabas na sa PPC fund. Actually po, yung PPC fund na yon, ni-raise yun ng mga parishioners separate dun sa parish fund. So, kumbaga sa mga sa council yon, separate yun sa fund ng office, parish office.
So, in other words, any and all amounts that are gotten from the Parish Pastoral Council Fund should only be for the Parish Pastoral Council.
Yes, for the
and
projects.
And hindi para sa parokya, para sa simbahan.
Opo. Yung sa simbahan po, yung mga collections, yung mga baptism, yung mga weddings,
fees na para sa binyag at
yung mga
kasal.
toll fees, yun dun po. Yun sa parish fund, bali yun.
Okay. Pero who has control of the Parish Pastoral Council or PPC funds, and who has control of the parish funds? Hindi po ba yung kura paroko pa rin?
Supposed to be po, pagka parish fund, yung sa council. Pero it happened na yung dalawa namin sinundang parish priest, okay naman po kahit nasa kanya yung pera. So, nung tinurn over kay Father, nasa kanya rin yung pera. Parang alam din namin, ganun nung mangyayari. Kasi yung mga previous priest po namin lang problema dun eh. Na may monthly report kami, na financial report. So, nasusundan talaga yung
So, in other words,
pera.
ma'am, nag-umpisa po ito lahat dahil nagdududa kayo dahil walang financial report. Ganon?
Aside po, tapos may discrepancy pang nakita yung aming finance officer.
When you say discrepancy, what is the amount we're talking about?
Kasi po, ang beginning balance na tinurn over nun pari namin, Father Glenn Orosio, was something like less than 800,000. Na-divide na yon sa mga different may mga projects. Actually, nasa report na po namin nung sinabit nun sa yung sa counter affidavit namin nun. So, tapos, nung nakay Father na po kami,
Father Alinio
na, nag-fundraising kami ng Raffle for a Cause, which amounted to almost 1 million, 1.3 something, 1 million po yung So, yun po yung hinahanap namin ngayon. Nasa almost 1.8 kung saan niya na dinala. Nung nagka-issue na yan. Okay, wait. Pero yung pag sinasabi niyong saan niya dinala, for example, may pinagawang yung altar, di ba? Opo.
Merong binayaran daw na Meralco bill na magkano ba yun? 80,000 ba yun? 86,000. Meron ding pinagawang kurtina. Pero pinakamalaki yung sa altar, no? Yung altar. 86,500 Meralco bill, and then several checks amounting to several hundred thousands for the altar, and then curtains, etc. What he's saying is that John dinala yung pera.
Yun po ang sinasabi niya. Kasi nung nag-meeting kami, may time na sinasabi niya, actually yung altar na yun, hindi niya sa amin, hindi yun kasama sa projects namin. Basta nilabas niya na lang yun sa meeting na may paggagawa niya yung altar retablo na 650,000. It turned out, nung nagharap-harap kami sa diocese, 480 lang pala yung
Ano yung sinasabi yung 650,000? Parang a projected cost.
A cost nung kasi
projected cost. So you're saying that because he said the projected cost is 650,000 at ang lumabas 400-something thousand lang, binulsa niya yung pera? Ganon?
Parang nag-overprice na siya doon.
Nag-overprice. Pero hindi po ba when we make, when anybody, no, if you make a projected cost, sometimes you make it bigger than what is the actual, because we're not sure. Because what I'm trying to find out here is, ano yung sinasabi ninyong binulsa niya yung pera dun sa sinasabing pera dapat para sa altar? Di ba? Kasi that's what you filed the case against him for, hindi po ba? So paano po yun? Ano yung crime doon sa sinabi niyang projected cost kumpara dun sa actual cost na nangyari?
Ay, yung actual pa naman, hindi pa naman niya kasi noon parang ang ano niya sa council, yun ang magiging presyo, yun ang i-raise naming amount. Pero nung nasita na nga siya, binabaan niya, yun daw ang talagang bid. Kasi may dalawang bidders daw. Wala naman siya sa aming sinabing may bidders doon.
Okay.
So yung lowest bid ang sinabi niya na doon nung nasa diocese na kami.
Okay. So your issue,
Parang,
in other words, your issues against him are one, that he used Parish Pastoral Council funds,
Without the knowledge.
Without your
The
knowledge
PPC.
na kayong mga
PPC.
officers ng PPC. And two, that he pocketed money?
Something like that.
Something like that? Hindi, pero kasi sinampahan nyo ng kaso.
Oo.
So,
Kasi
hindi
nga,
naman pwedeng sa
binibase
husgado
na-
sasabihin nyo something like
Hindi,
that, di ba?
kasi
Oo.
Pia, ang binabase na namin doon sa mga check-in na mga
Oo.
nilabas niya, mga pinasok niyang mga ano.
Oo. Kasi dun sa counter affidavit, sabi niya, for example, merong I categorically deny, pero meron ding I admit, but with qualifications, dahil itong check na ito, halimbawa, na pang 100,000 or pang 15,000, yun ang mga bayad dun sa para sa altar, yung mga ganon.
Actually nga, nung nandun kami sa diocese, sinabi ni Monsignor Dan Santa Maria na he was found guilty of juggling of funds
Where?
ng diocese.
For which one? For this one?
Oo,
For Santo Niño?
Kasi nga,
He
nag-audit
was found
sila
guilty.
Juggling of funds.
Yeah, when?
Nung in-audit nila yan, Yung-
Okay. What year? What did they find him guilty?
this year,
This year.
last year, 2013.
Okay.
Second time na humarap kami sa diocese, nag-audit na sila
Okay. So, they found him guilty and
of
then?
juggling of funds. Sabi niya gano'n. Pero parang sa kanila malaking bagay daw yun.
Okay.
Sa kanila reprimanded na siya nun eh.
So they reprimanded him?
Sabi nila,
Oo. Okay, kasi ang hinihingi nyo ecclesiastical punishment. Hindi po ba? Kung ang iba pong guest, kung gusto nyo magsalita, please butt in if you want. So, ecclesiastical punishment. Itong reprimand na ito, does this amount to ecclesiastical punishment?
hindi.
Parang nahihiya kayo. Hindi. Ano bang gusto nyo mangyari? Ano bang gusto ninyo?
Since he caused the division ng Paris, siguro yun yung gusto naming mangyari na someone who will unite us, hindi yung dinidivide. Kasi kahit sa pulpit, sinisiraan niya yung mga tao, yung mga involved.
Kayo.
Oo.
Like what does he say, for example, about you, Mr. Berino? What did Father Alinio say about you, for example?
For example, before I'm a member of the lay minister, then lahat ng lay minister halos na-divide because of him. O na pinagbawal sa amin, pumasok sa Kristi. Which na doon kami kukuha ng viaticum para dahil sa may sakit. Anyway, ayaw namin mangyari to sa akin at sa aking pamilya. Pero bakit nagaganito? Nagkahiwa-hiwalay ang tao.
Okay. So, but of course, siyempre, alam niyo naman po, hindi naman pwedeng dalhin sa husgado yan kasi he's dividing us in the parish. Di ba? Hindi naman yun po yung kaso. Pero ang sinasabi po ninyo is gusto nyo tanggalin siya ng diocese.
Kahit
Correct? Because you said a while ago, you don't want somebody who divides you, you want somebody to unite you.
Yun po.
Gusto niyo siyang matanggal.
Doon sa aming parokya.
Okay, para bang parang ingat na ingat kayong magsalita, parang takot na takot kayo kay Father Alinio. Yes, sir, you wanted to say something, Mr. De Castro.
Tungkol sa pulpito.
Yeah.
Dahil ang pagkaalam ko, yung pulpito sagrado. Ang pagkaalam ko niyan ay ang pinaliliwanag yan kung ano yung ibanghilyo during that day. Pero ang nangyayari, hindi. Mga pamimersonal ang ginagamit niya, panglalait sa mga parishioners. Kaya ang naging dahilan niyan, naging epekto, na-divide yung parishioners eh. Na naging tatlo. May isang neutral, may isang pro, at saka mayroong isang against.
Okay.
So, hindi na niya tuloy na unite yung isang parishioner. Bilang isang pari, supposed to be na dapat mong ma-unite yung isang parishioner. Kasi isang ano yan eh, isang relihiyon eh, na Katoliko eh. Pero hindi nangyari ngayon eh, watak-watak na. Kanya-kanya na.
There are some who, in your parish, some parishioners who are defending him.
Yes.
I mean, and parishioners of parishes where he used to be parish priest na sinasabing mabait naman daw siya, hindi naman niya gagawin yon, etc. So ano pong reaction niyo doon?
Siguro po, nung dati, mabait siya. Kasi meron din akong friend na taga Malabon, sabi niya, ano din sa akin, nag-message, hindi siya ganyan nung nasa Malabon. Siguro kasi, bago pa siya, Tapos, ngayon nga, may iba na rin siyang mga priorities.
Okay. Kayo rin po ba, ma'am, your group, no? Were you the ones who investigated him and came out with all this alleged proof that he owns a house in Marikina, that he owns vehicles, that itong may condominium unit, etc.?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, pero yung mga yon, hindi yon bahagi, hindi naging parte or bahagi ng complaint.
Naka-annex na rin.
Naka-annex lang. Okay. So, what are you trying to prove here? That, what? What are you trying to say?
Sa pagsaserve niya, may personal siyang personal gain. Okay. Kasi yung mga ganong properties, although sabihin nating mayaman siya, dapat bang ang pare ganun karaming properties na maraming sasakyan. Yung latest niyang sasakyan na purchase niya nung time na nasa parokya na namin siya.
Anong sasakyan po yun?
Yung Grandia.
Grandia.
Oo, purchase ng June 2012, 20 January.
Sino po yung bumili nun?
Nasa pangalan niya.
Nasa pangalan niya. Pero do you know kung saan galing yung pera?
Yun yung... Kasi yun yung mga time na may issue na kami dun eh. Sa parish.
Okay. So what are you trying to say by that? Na
pwedeng nanggaling sa mga hinahanap namin.
Okay. We'll have to take a break, but we already have... Do we have Father Zabala on the line? We'll have him, no? When we come back. Correct? We'll have him when we come back. We're taking a short break. News.ph will be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching News.ph on the Solar News channel. I'm Pia Ontiveros. We're talking about a parish priest in Quezon City, Father Enrique Alino, and he's being embroiled in a controversy about money, revolving around money right now. We're going to speak to Father Stephen Zabala, the spokesperson of the Diocese of Cubao, under which the parish of... the Santo Niño Parish of Bago Bantay falls. Father Zabala, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, good evening, Pia.
Father Zabala, can you tell us what the diocese has done so far about this case?
Yeah, the first time this case was brought to the bishop, first he listened to the people complaining about Father Aloy, and then about the accusation of the money that is being questioned. He instructed right away Monsignor Dan Santa Maria and the audit department to look into the matter, and because the accusation is that money is lost. So after the audit of the Diocese of Cubao, it was found out that the money was all accounted for. And the problem was that it was used to something else. Because I understand the parish council line up projects that will be that the parish should embark on. Apparently, Father Aloy used it for something else like electricity and the altar. The altar is that si Father Ali po kasi may passion sa sa Diyos, sa altar. Mahilig po yung magpaganda ng altar. Halos lahat ng simbang pinuntahan niya ay
pinapaganda yung altar.
Okay. Lagi pong ganon. Kasi para sa Diyos. So he always gives the best to God. And then yung 80,000 electricity, ako po yung na-assign dyan sa temporarily sa Santo Niño. So I know some people there. In fact, the people, your guests now, I know some of them.
Yes.
So binabati ko rin pala sila. Good evening sa inyo, no? Kilala ko sila, no? Yung 80,000 electricity, kasi po dati yung nagkakaproblema din kasi ang parokya ng Santo Niño sa operation cost. Because there's not much collection there, no?
Yes.
In fact, for some time, it was being supported by the school. And then after some time, the school stopped giving support to the parish.
Okay.
Si Father Aloy Alino, bilang parokya, ay kailangang he needs to attend to the operation of the parish. Kaya siguro, nilagay niya yung pambayad sa electricity para hindi naman mawala ng kuryente ang kailang parokya because medyo kapos din po yung operation cost yan. And then yung about the hidden wealth supposedly of Father Aloy, like the condo units, yung mga sasakyan, and then ivory collection, yung bahay. I talked to Father Aloy and then asked him about this. Of course, Father Aloy, the family of Father Aloy is not really poor, no? Hindi naman din sila filthy rich, but it's a very comfortable family.
Where are they from? Where are the Alinos from?
I don't know. I think it's from, I'm not sure kung anong origin ni Aloy, but I think it's only from Metropolitan Manila.
Okay.
Yung lahat ng siblings niya nasa abroad, and one of them is a doctor. Yung pong si Father Aloy bilang bunsong kapatid nila, may mga properties pa rin po yung kanilang pamilya dito sa Pilipinas. And the siblings appointed Father Aloy to be the caretaker.
And we can do that. Pwede po ba yun, isang pare, caretaker?
Yeah,
Or may, hindi po ba
Yes.
yung pare hindi pwedeng a priest cannot own real estate property?
Pia, we need to make a distinction. Religious
Okay.
priests
Religious
cannot
and
own the
diocesan.
property.
Okay.
But the diocesan priests, they can own property.
Pwede.
Yeah.
Meaning
Yeah,
when you say
pwede.
own property can be in their names.
Yes, it can
Okay.
be their name. Yes.
Okay. So you're saying na yung ang sinasabi kasi nila yung bahay sa Marikina, tapos recently bumili ng isang grandia, etc.
Yeah. In fact, yung bahay sa Marikina is a family house na under the name of Father Aloy. Yun ang sabi ni Father Aloy. And it's not hidden wealth because hindi naman niya tinatago yan.
Oo.
Father Aloy told me na yung mga dating PPC members niya, I think there was one meeting yata, they invited them over to his house there sa bahay na yon.
Yeah.
And then, kumbaga talagang open niya. It's an open secret. It's
Okay. Yeah, Father.
part of their-
Yeah, sorry. I just
yeah.
wanted. I'm sorry. I keep interrupting. I just want to clarify this, no, para walang ano. So hindi yung bahay na yon is like considered the ancestral house, the home of his parents. Ganun po ba?
Yeah, that's sabi ni Father Aloy, that's where their siblings, his siblings, when they come from the US, that's where they stay, yung mga ganon.
No, what I meant is, kailan po pinatayo yung bahay na yan?
I'm not sure, baka siguro more than a decade, mga ganon.
So it's not the ancestral house. So
Yeah.
silang magkapatid built it? Ganun po ba yun?
Yun ang sabi ni Father Aloy. It's a family property paid for by his siblings.
Okay.
Pagkatapos, dyan sila tumutuloy pag umuwi galing US.
Oh, Father
Tapos
Zabala,
yung
when
sasakyan na,
Father,
yung sasakyan,
Father, when you say na, I'm sorry, go ahead, Father.
yung sasakyan binabanggit nila, yung Fortuner yata yun, it's under his name, but Father Aloy said, that belongs to my siblings. Sa pag umuwi sila, yun ang ginagamit na sasakyan ng kanilang siblings.
Aha.
And then even the condo units belong to the to his siblings under his name. I think para sa kanila, just the proper arrangement na mas easy so that it's easy to facilitate transactions on behalf of the family with Father Aloy doing it.
So walang, of all the Alino siblings, he is the only one that is left here in the Philippines, and therefore
Yeah.
everything is in his name.
Yeah,
Ganun po ba?
and apparently because he's the youngest and he's the priest, mas pinagkakatiwalaan ng siblings.
Kanina po, Father Stephen, you kept saying na sabi ni Father Aloy, did the diocese also do its own investigation? Did you also check and counter-check what Father Alino was saying?
Oh, yes. In fact, even the bishop was talking to him, and then the bishop looks at this with seriousness, no? And then tama yata yung sinabi ni Monsignor Dana, he was reprimanded why he juggled the funds. He was reprimanded by the bishop. Because it's better talaga if the parish priest and the council agrees to how the parish fund should be allocated.
Okay, but what I meant by if you looked and counter-checked his allegation, I'm sorry, his claims, hindi, I didn't just mean na kinausap ng
yes.
obispo, but did you also check the documents,
Yung
halimbawa?
obispo kinausap. pati yung siblings kinausap ni Bishop tungkol doon. Even the siblings really said that this is our property, and then under the stewardship of their brother, Father Alinio.
And none, are you saying the diocese is satisfied when, I'm presupposing that Father Alinio said na walang pera ng parokya ang ginamit para mabili ang bahay, mabili ang High Ace Grandia, mabili ang condominium unit, halimbawa?
Yes, that is what is coming out in the
Yeah, the condominium unit, by the way, Father Stephen, is what? Also owned by the siblings?
Owned by the siblings, yes.
Also owned by the siblings, but
Yes.
but also in the name of Father Alinio.
Father Aloy,
Father-
In fact, sa pati bang account yata, it's under his name. Pag meron mga withdrawal, the siblings from the US will give instruction to Father Aloy na kailan magbigay ng pera sa ganito, and then he's the one facilitating it.
Meron siyang parang special power of attorney, SPA?
I don't know
suppose, no?
that thing, but probably yes.
Okay, but this is allowed under what canon law, no? Under your rules that well, like you said, pwede namang
Yes,
you can
because,
own property, you can also transact, you can buy.
By being a diocesan priest, by being a diocesan priest, you can own property.
Okay, because as we all know, unlike the religious, diocesans do not take this vow of poverty.
Yes,
That
there's a
is the
promise of
reason?
property.
Okay, but this does not mean, of course, that they can like show off their material possessions, show off their wealth, halimbawa, houses, cars, whatever.
I don't know if Father Aloy is a show-off about their properties. Just as he is. He's very welcoming, he's accommodating, and then he welcomes people to their house, to the house of the family. Ganun siya no? But I don't know if we will call him flaunting his wealth or what.
Okay.
Ganun na talaga siya masyadong grasyoso.
Okay, so you're saying also, Father Stephen, that the diocese is satisfied that Father Aloy did not use any of the money of the parish, whether the parish funds or the parish pastoral council funds, to buy any of those properties, whether it's the house, condominium unit, vehicles, etc.
Yeah, there's no indication that it's like that. That parish money was used for these houses that are being mentioned.
Father Stephen, yung mga parish priests, meron po ba silang income? Are they paid? Meron po ba silang sweldo?
We have a monthly allowance enough for us to survive. Yeah.
Okay.
And then some other money will come from our own family or some friends. Yeah.
Okay. Is
If
this what
if you come from a richer family, you're more blessed.
Is this what you call the stipend?
Yes. that's right.
Is this a uniform thing among across all parishes, or is this dependent
It
on how
varies.
much?
It depends on the capacity of the parish. If the parish is bigger, so sometimes they give more. If the parish is smaller, then it's something like that. It's smaller.
And the stipend is a certain percentage of what? The parish funds, yung galing sa collection, tuwing misa, yung fees that are paid for baptisms, weddings. Ganun po ba yun? Where is this from?
The collection will go to the operations of the parish, and the stipend of the priest is given from the mass offering, from the mass collection also, from the mass intentions.
Okay. When you kanina po ang sabi nyo, diocesan priests are. We lost Father Stephen. Did we lose our line to heaven? Yeah? Okay, we'll try to get him back in a little while. I hope we can get back that connection with Father Stephen Zabala, spokesperson of the Diocese of Cubao. So far, ma'am, sirs, ma'ams,
Ma'am.
what do you think of what Father Stephen has said?
Regarding ho kanina sinasabi ni Father Stephen na ang diocesan. Ma'am, napakadami na naming sulat. Bukod pa doon sa paghaharap-harap nila. May mga sulat ho kami sa CBCP, sa Cardinal. Hindi, doon kay Monsignor, yung doon
Kay
sa
Cardinal Chito Tagle?
Yes, oo.
Okay.
Tapos ano pa, diyan sa diocesan, hindi ho kami sinasagot.
Okay, pero ang
Tapos,
sabi nga niya,
iba pa ho
at
yung
nag-reprimand
imbestiga.
naman, oh.
At mayroon pa rin ho kaming request na pwede kaming makipag-audience kay Bishop. Matagal na matagal kaming naghintay.
Bishop Honesto Ontioko,
po.
ang obispo
And
ng
then,
Cubao.
hindi
Oh.
naman siya, nagbigay siya, pero hindi rin kami hinarap. October ho yun.
October
Na-
2013.
Yes, oo.
Okay.
Na sabi, sige, October 10, sabi ganyan. Eh, on the way na kami sa kanila, sa Cubao. Hindi naman sinasabi nila na mayroon siyang meeting, kundi itinuro kami doon sa isang pari naman, pinalipat-lipat kami.
Okay.
Ayaw daw ni Bishop umano dahil mayroon daw siyang importanteng emergency meeting kay Cardinal. Eh, meron naman din tumawag sa amin, sa grupo namin na tumawag sa office nila sa Cubao na pwedeng makausap si Bishop. Oo daw, saglit lang. Tapos, kami nandoon na kami sa ibaba.
Oo. Tapos hindi pa rin kayo hinarap?
Hindi pa rin kami
Okay.
hinarap.
Okay. Pero,
Bakit
yes.
ganun? Hindi kami hinaharap.
Oo. Pero ang sabi na nga po nila ni Father Stephen is that naimbestigahan naman, na reprimand din dahil nga parang nagkaroon ng
Sinabi lang
jogging
nila
of
yung
funds,
na-reprimand,
ganon.
pero wala ho kaming alam doon.
Ano
sa
pong gusto nyo?
reprimand.
Parang nakasulat or something?
Wala. Basta sinabi lang nung father na ano daw, reprimand na siya. Para wala naman ano. Yung sinasabi nilang audit na.
Oo.
Hindi ho yun ang hinahanap namin.
Hindi, kasi ang sabi nyo, ang pinagmulan kasi ng complaint nyo is dahil gusto nyo ipa-audit dahil walang financial report.
Opo.
Di ba? So,
Iba naman ho yun.
iba pa rin yun.
Sa simbahan, yung sa collection ho yun ng simbahan. Pero yung sa PPC ho,
Parish Pastoral Council.
sa Parish Pastoral, yun ho ang hinahanap namin.
Oh, sino? Okay.
Inendorso ho yun, 2 pari ang pinanggalingan ng pera na yun, bago inendorso sa kanya. And then, wala naman kaming kaalam-alam na naubos na pala yun.
Sino po ba dapat ang nag-audit nun? Or parang caretaker ng funds na yun? Sino dapat?
Sa kanya na nga ho inendorso yun ng pari na umalis.
So, you're saying all over the country, the practice is the Parish Pastoral Council hands over its funds to the parish priest? Hindi? Ano? Oo, hindi. Ano?
Ang fund ng PPC supposed to be sa PPC. Sila
Sa
rin ang
PPC.
hawak.
Pero
Oo.
sila rin po may hawak nun.
Ang nangyari noon, sila.
Oo. Pero it was turned over to the priest, to Father Alinio. Kayo na nga may hawak ng pera, ba't nyo tinurn over? Tapos,
Yun
Ano?
ang ginawa ng pari na pinalitan niya. Na iano sa kanya, for safekeeping daw. Tapos ngayon nawala.
okay. Pero, no, kaya mga question is, sino dapat ang may hawak? Sino dapat yung caretaker ng pondo? Dapat yung council. Diba?
Yung finance officer
Yeah,
ng
but
council.
the council, the Parish Pastoral Council, even before Father Alinio got there, gave the money to the parish priest who preceded Father Alinio.
Yes.
So, meaning you trusted the priest.
Yes.
Ganon. And then, pinasa naman kay Father Alinio. Tapos, pinabayaan naman ng Parish Pastoral Council na ipasa sa kanya. Ganon.
Not knowing. Tapos, yung time na gusto na namin ng finance report, doon na nagkaroon ng nakita na yung problema doon.
Okay. Let's get Father Stephen Zabala back on the line before we lose him again. Father Stephen, are you there?
Hi, good evening. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. Na-interrupt lang po tayo kanina. We lost that signal. Well, I'm presuming that was the line to heaven, Father. Yung mga pari ba, the diocesan priests, no? You are allowed to have personal bank accounts. If you're allowed to have homes, cars, etc., you have personal bank accounts.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. For
Okay.
the diocesan, yes.
Okay. Ang diocesan priest, ang parish priest halimbawa, ano po ba yung rule? Where should they be living? In the parish church, a home adjacent to the parish church, or what?
You should stay in the parish convent, adjacent or near the parish, it can be. But
Okay.
it has to be very accessible to the parish.
Okay.
Here in the Diocese of Cubao, it's mostly within the parish premises.
Oo. So where was Father Alinio living? Where is he living right now?
He's staying in Santo Niño.
In Santo Niño, in the parish?
In the parish, yes.
Okay. The parishioners who are here of Santo Niño are saying that, many times they asked for an audience with Bishop Ongtioco. They filed complaints before several fora, no? Do you think you, meaning the Diocese of Cubao, was able to address their concerns, Father?
The stance of the diocese has always been to listen to all sides, listen to Father Alinio, listen to the disgruntled parishioners, listen to the supporters of Father Alinio, and then the bishop looks at this with seriousness. That's why, so that he will be constantly updated, he would assign priests to handle the issue. Like he would assign Monsieur Dan to look at this, and then Episcopal Vicar for the clergy, Father Ral Macale, to monitor the issue, so that he will be constantly updated. So it's not like that he's dissociated from the issue. He's always updated about it.
Father
and
Stephen,
then
yes.
he reads with sadness. He reads with sadness the article that was published insinuating the dubious wealth of Father Aloy. So he really looks at this with seriousness.
When you say the bishop looks at this with seriousness, what exactly are you saying, Father?
When there was the accusation of money getting lost, he asked Monsignor Dan to pursue audit right away. Because it's a serious accusation. So let's look at the numbers. Let's look how the money was used.
Okay.
So,
ang na-audit po, Father Stephen, was the parish funds. According to the parishioners here, ang gusto nilang ipa-audit din ay yung Parish Pastoral Council funds.
I think that was audited by the audit department of the diocese.
What's that?
How it was dispersed.
Can you speak up, ma'am, para he can hear? Father, this is Edith.
Yes. We were not
Yes.
given a written report regarding the audit. Are we not supposed to have that? Hindi po ninyo kami nabigyan nun ng kopya. Nung nagpunta po kami nun sa diocese, hindi po ninyo kami binigyan ng kopya ng audit report. And supposed to be may pre-audit pa yata noon na usapan. So, hindi po nangyari yon. Hindi rin kami binigyan ng kopya ng report na ginawa.
I'm not aware of that. I can check with the department what document they released to you.
Humihingi po kami noon, hindi kami binigyan.
Okay.
Father Steve, sinabi niyo po kanina si Father Macali, nakaharap din ho namin yun nung doon kami pinatuloy. Ang sabi niya sa amin, wag ho kayong mag-alala at meron kaming pag-uusapan ho namin. Pero magmula ho noon, wala na ho kaming narinig na may pinag-usapan, na mayroon na ho mangyayari, kung ano na ang mangyayari sa amin sa Bago Bantay. Hindi na ho kami ngayon nakakapasok sa simbahan namin. Dahil parang minamay-ari na ho nila. Sinasabi ho nila na mga hindi amin na itong kami pumupunta pa kayo dito, hindi naman simbahan ninyo ito. Yan ang mga sinasabi ng mga tao doon. Nagkakaaway-away na, nagkahiwa-hiwalay na, Father. Sa totoo lang, ako magmula noong nagkagulo-gulo, hindi na ako nagsisimba sa minsan sa TV na lang ako. Minsan sa
ibang parokya.
Ibang parokya.
Punta na lang po kayo simbahan ko.
Okay. Saan po yung simbahan nyo, Father Stephen?
Just kidding. They're supposed to stay with their parish.
Okay. Father Stephen.
In Divine Mercy si Katuna.
Just
kidding.
Okay. So ano po ang mangyayari? Because, it may look like an inconsequential thing, but this is something that like you said, should concern or that worries the Catholic Church when you have the parish priest pitted against some of the parishioners.
I don't know, Pia, kasi I don't know if the way I read it, no, and I correct me if I'm wrong, no.
Yes.
The parishioners of Father Aloy who are there in the studio. The end game yata that they want is for Father Aloy to be
Removed.
pulled out, removed from the parish. This is a thing that the bishop really has to weigh very, very carefully. No?
Okay.
And it's up to the bishop to do the decision, and I'm not privy to how his mind will think about this matter. So if that's the end game, it's really something that the bishop will
Has to
really think
consider.
seriously.
Oh,
Yes.
when was he?
Kasi
When was?
whatever action the bishop will do that is not removal, it will always disappoint the group.
Okay.
But will the bishop do that? I cannot,
You cannot say.
read the mind of the bishop. No, with these cases hurled against him, yung causing division, yung hindi nagsisimba sila sa Santo Niño, are these enough basis for the bishop to remove Father Aloy? No, so he has to think this through very, very carefully.
When was Father Aloy reprimanded?
I think right after the audit. That would be last year.
Last year, middle of last year,
The third
2000.
quarter, siguro middle or third quarter of last
Middle
year.
of the third quarter. So in other words, si Bishop Ongtioco will just make a decision as to whether he will allow Father Alinio to stay in Bagumantay in Santo Niño Parish or be removed.
Yes, that's up to the bishop, the assignment of priests.
Okay, Father Stephen, can you tell us what the Diocese of Cubao thinks about this? No, right now we have the Catholic Church has a very, very popular Pope in Pope Francis, and his message is one of simplicity. Living with the people, being in harmony with them, etc. No, how does this play against this backdrop of Father Alinio and the parishioners in Santo Niño?
I don't see Father Aloy as somebody who is extravagant and flaunting of his wealth. He's very gracioso, and I think he also doesn't discriminate people. He relates with anybody in the upper echelon of society. He also goes down to those people who are socially disadvantaged. In fact, if you will check the parishes he's been assigned in, he's well loved by so many because he really welcomes people. No discrimination there, no? And then he loves beso-beso pa nga, no? He loves doing that with any kinds of people. And he's always trying to live a simple life. Yung wealth na sinasabi, it doesn't say na talagang siya ay very extravagant. Medyo lang talaga, he comes from a blessed family. So his actuations may be misinterpreted as extravagant.
When you say
But
blessed family, Father Stephen, meaning...
economically, the family is...
parang the Alinos are what? Upper middle class or wealthy? Are they landed?
Not really that wealthy, but maybe in the middle class.
Middle class.
Yeah.
Are they landed? Do they have was there a family business? Were his parents? What was the profession of his parents when they were still? I suppose they passed.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about whether they're really landed or their property. They haven't shown me their bank accounts yet.
Or business. No. So
Yeah.
ano po yung business ng pamilya?
The siblings are all in the U.S. So one is a doctor, and I don't know the others kung anong trabaho nila doon.
Okay. The Father Alinio has an adopted son. Is that correct?
That's right. That's right.
And that is a usual practice among diocesan priests?
Some priests are doing that, but majority do not.
But it is allowed.
Yeah, it's allowed.
It's allowed.
It's allowed, but discouraged.
I'm sorry, I don't get it. Allowed but discouraged, meaning?
Yes. As much possible, mas maganda you're not attending to somebody.
Because your vocation is to serve God, no, as a priest, not as a religious. Did Father Aloy form the Youth Marian Crusade? Do you know about that?
I'm not aware of that. But I think he was part of that before. I don't know if he was the one who organized it.
Okay. What do you know about the Youth Marian Crusade, Father Stephen?
I'm not really that familiar. I just only know the name of the Youth Marian Crusade.
Okay. Would you say, Father Stephen, it is quite difficult to make secular priests or diocesans accountable?
Hello, come again, Pia.
Father Stephen, would you say it is quite difficult to make secular priests or diocesans accountable?
Not really, because we have an audit department checking on us always, regularly sending their auditors to check on it, and then we really give report to the diocese regarding how we run the finances of the parish and everything else.
When, Father Stephen, what is the usual practice in the Catholic Church among dioceses? Now, when a priest is assigned as a parish priest somewhere, do you check on his background when it comes to yung mga previous assignments, previous parishes, etc., and what the assignments were like? Do you do that? Do you do a background investigation?
In the Diocese of Cubao, we have a personal board that will do a research, and then we try to do a matching. What are the strengths, the positive points of the parish priest, and whether his personality and his leadership style will match the needs and the culture of the parish he'll be assigned in.
Okay.
So we try to do that.
Okay, and above and beyond that matching, you of course ensure that.
Sometimes it doesn't match. Sometimes it's
like now, no? Okay, yeah. But above and beyond that matching, you make sure, of course, that the priest is, well, how can I say this? Beyond reproach? Na wala pong bahid ng anuman? Ganun po ba yun? I'm presuming.
All of us may mga negative points. All of us may mga shortcomings. And then we try to fulfill our mission in the best way we can. And hoping we'll not be able to harm the community, but we'll be able to serve them fully.
Okay.
No one is a perfect pastor, Pia.
Yes.
No one is a perfect pastor, yeah.
We are all works in progress, ganun po ba yun?
Yes, oo. Kaya nga yung prayer ko sa Santo Niño, no? I was there for 9 months and I enjoyed my stay there. Ang prayer ko talaga, they will really come to a real dialogue and settle this with much openness and Christian compassion to become really a community that they're being called to be in perfect and happy communion.
Okay, Father, I hope you don't mind. We'll just take one short break, then we'll be right back. Please stay with us. News.ph will be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching News.ph and the Solar News channel. Father Stephen Zabala is still on the line. Father Stephen, we wanted to give you a chance to say some final words, parting words. And Father, not more than 8 minutes. Ang homily daw, hindi dapat more than 8 minutes.
My daily homily, Pia, is less than 2 minutes.
How many minutes, Father? Less than?
Less than 2 minutes. Longer pag Sunday. Anyway,
okay.
So the thing I said the last time before we took a break, I really hope, and I wish that Santo Niño will have its healing moments, that the different parties will come to the table and have a real dialogue with much openness and in a listening mode, and then to really become one community again. And I respect the people there in the studio for voicing out their opinion about the parish priest. That means they haven't lost their love for the church, and I hope they haven't lost their love for priests like us.
Okay. Father, speaking of priests like you and like the others, nangyayari po ba sa isang diocese or minsan, di ba, pag nililipat yung kura paroko, tapos palipat-lipat sila, do you transfer people to banish or exile Kumbaga, kung may problema na yung isang pare, tapos ililipat na lang sa ibang lugar. May ganun po bang nangyayari sa simbahang Katoliko dito sa Pilipinas?
Oh yes, naman, Pia. If there's a really grave problem happening in the parish, the bishop will really, transfer the priest.
Okay. Transfer the priest to another parish.
Sometimes he's not transferred to, depende sa case eh.
Depende sa case.
Minsan kasi meron isang case na he should not be allowed to handle a parish muna, but he will undergo like intervention session to fix the problem of the priest. Ganyan.
What's that, Father? He will undergo what? Not rehab, no? What?
Yeah, not really rehab, but to help the priest to find his bearing again, so that he'll be effective as a pastor when he comes back.
Yeah, because that is...
If he doesn't match in a particular parish, sometimes transferring to another parish is very effective. No? So, minsan may mga ganun kasi may mga different cultures kasi mga parishes. Minsan hindi siya nag-click sa parish A, nung nagpunta siya sa parish B, ang galing-galing, no? Buong buo yung sambayanan. May mga ganung factor.
Okay. So you think it's just a matter of kung nagki-click sila or...
Part of it, minsan nagki-click, minsan naman talaga yung may certain kasi may mga parish kasi may mga ibang expectation sa pari no? Sometimes the particular priest is not able to fulfill that kind of expectation kasi iba yung style.
Okay. So minsan ang problema hindi lang sila nagki-click or baka talagang may problema ang pare, ganon.
Pwede rin pong ganon. Pwede rin talaga ganon.
Okay. Anyway, thank you very much, Father Steven Zabala. Thank you so much for giving us this time tonight. All right, let's take some final words. Mr. Vic Berino, final words po. You have, we have 1 minute, so you have 15 seconds.
Kaya sana magkaroon muli ng pagkakataon magkaisa mga tao sa Bago Bantay. Then sana yung aming paris, yung man ipinapanalangin namin na yung kanyang mga ginagawa, sana manumbalik yung ginagawa niyang kabutihan.
Okay.
Sana mawala na yung aming mga naririnig, pangtutuyan niya, panghihiya. Ginagamit niya ang pulpito sa mga salitang hindi dapat marinig ng tao. Yung mga panghiya niya, tulad niya magsasalita siya. 4 na beses niyang sinabing ulol. Tama bang sabihin? Nasa pulpito ka.
May video ba kayo nun?
Yes. Kinahihiya niya yung mga bakla. Tuwira niya sinasabi.
Okay.
Tama ba yun? Para sinabi na rin yung mga hindi kasama sa mga Katolikong Kristiyano.
Okay. Mr. Manuel de Castro, bigyan na lang po natin.
Para sa akin,
hindi po ito
kung ako lang, personally, kung maaari lang matransfer na siya ng ibang parokya. Dahil tuwing mayroon siyang hindi nagugustuhan doon sa parokya, among the parishioners, babawian niya doon sa pulpito Doon niya dinadala kung ano yung pwede naman kausapin niya yung tao. So para sa akin, mahirapan ma-unite itong nagkahati na parishioners.
Okay. And Ma'am Editha Rebolledo.
Para po kay Father Aloy. Father, homily mo noon tungkol sa cycle ng anger. Sana sa'yo huminto na yung cycle of anger. Love ang binigay mo sa amin, hindi Sana kung love ang binigay mo, hindi na nangyari to, huminto na yung cycle of anger sa'yo pa lang. Sana, ang mga nangyayari ngayon, maging eye-opener din sa'yo. Hindi lang kayo ang ginagamit na instrument ni Lord para magbago ang tao. Pwedeng kami ring mga tao, baguhin din kayong mga shepherd namin. At maging good shepherd sana para sa mga parishioners ng Bago Bantay. Yun lang.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. And Rufa, mabait?
Sana po, yung aming nilalakad ngayon, magtagumpay. Sana, tulungan sana kami ni Lord na magkaroon kami ng buhay ulit, maging maganda ang samahan namin. Sana, pakinggan naman kami ni Bishop. Tulungan kami kung ano ang hinihiling ng parishioner. Nagkakawatak-watak talaga.
Alright,
Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Berino, Mr. De Castro, Ms. Rebolledo, and Ms. Mabait. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. And thank you for watching. I'm Pia Ontiveros. This is News.ph. See you again next Wednesday. Good night.